After a disappointing loss in the postseason, the Denver Nuggets decided to take a shot on Russell Westbrook in the offseason in hopes of finding a role for him on the team, and they have been able to do that and so much more. Welcome to Basketball Intuition. I'm your host, Ethan Simon. Today we're going to be talking about Russell Westbrook and what he's been able to bring to the Denver Nuggets. Westbrook's main job with the team so far has been a passer, a playmaker, and a cutter, so let's talk about some of the things he's brought to the Denver Nuggets in the half-court offense. This is a very small thing I want to start with, but it's very important to me, and it's the pass and cut that Westbrook and Jokic have been doing together. How the Nuggets will run their half-court offense a lot of the time with Westbrook and Jokic on the floor. Westbrook will start the action with the ball in his hands while Jokic is setting a screen off ball or is posting up. Westbrook then will safely get the ball to Jokic in the paint or the free throw line area, the block. And then right off of that pass, Westbrook is cutting to the dunker spot, the corner, the free throw line, or the middle of the defense. Russell Westbrook making the entry pass to Jokic is much safer than Peyton Watson or Christian Braun, for example. Westbrook has much more poise and calmness when making that pass or really just initiating the offense in general. So having Westbrook initiate the action or simply put the ball in Jokic's hands has been very efficient throughout the season. So after Westbrook passes the ball to Jokic, this is where the options start to really show themselves. Westbrook a lot of the time will cut through. Jokic will hit him with a pass if he's open cutting. If that pass isn't there, Westbrook is going to the dunker spot or he's going out to the corner. Now typically throughout Westbrook's career, him sitting in the corner and shooting that three, you're okay with that and you can live with that. But so far through this season, Westbrook is shooting 45% on corner threes compared to 28% last season. And then in that dunker spot, it opens up options for Jokic to go to the basket and dump it off to Westbrook. And Westbrook has also played a lot of middleman, meaning that Jokic will pass the ball to Westbrook and Westbrook will either go up with the shot or he'll dump it off to another player cutting or sitting in the corner. Also throughout these pass and cut actions, it's been a lot of Jokic and Westbrook back and forth. My favorite part about it is whenever they're like 5 feet away from the basket and Westbrook just like, here, take this. And then Jokic just gets an easy floater or easy layup. And those are some of the easiest baskets Jokic has gotten all season. And in my opinion, this makes Jokic much more effective when Russell Westbrook is on the floor. Two elite tier playmakers that also move off ball is much better than one. And the lineup of Westbrook, Jokic, MPJ, Christian Braun, and Jamal Murray have an offensive rating of 125. If you're not aware of how offensive rating works, that is elite. The best example I can give to show you how elite that is, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the best offense in the league right now, or the best offensive rating in the league right now, have 123. Obviously, there's a difference between one lineup and a team as a whole, but it just shows you how good the offense has been. And especially in the clutch time, this has been huge for the Nuggets. In some of their most recent games against the Wizards and the Thunder, they've been really crutching that two-man game in the clutch, and they've been able to do a lot with it in the clutch. The two-man game between Westbrook and Jokic is very efficient, and for the Nuggets, whatever look you get out of it, you can live with that. I want to talk about Westbrook playing off ball a little bit more because he's done it so well, so we're going to look at one play in particular that really stood out to me. If you're enjoying the video, make sure to hit that like button. It helps out a lot more than you realize. This isn't the best play I could have used, but this is just one I was watching yesterday and I remembered that I wanted to look at. So if you look down in this corner, Westbrook is sitting in the corner. He is completely irrelevant to what the Nuggets have going on. Westbrook notices that, so he cuts to the middle of the floor. Boom, you see that? That makes Chris Middleton drop away from Jokic. That opens up the pass from Christian Braun to Jokic, so Jokic gets this ball now, and that's just because Westbrook cut it to the middle of the defense and created confusion. And because Westbrook cut it to the middle of the defense, it opened up a great shot for Michael Porter Jr. on the perimeter. He did not make the shot, but it's a very good shot for the Nuggets. Another thing that Westbrook has brought to the team that's been very valuable to the Nuggets is him diving in on the offensive glass. There are two things that have really stuck out to me throughout this season watching more basketball, making YouTube videos. One being off-ball movement, and the second one being putting pressure on defensive rebounders. So what I mean is a lot of the time Westbrook will dive in trying to get offensive rebounds from the dunker spot or making his way down from the corner baseline to get to the offensive glass. And I just love when offensive players put pressure on the defender to box them out or really pay attention when they're rebounding. A lot of players and teams won't crash the offensive glass, so it's just easy rebounds. With Westbrook and Jokic on the team, you can't just grab a rebound and go. You need to pay attention. Westbrook's going to make you box him out, or he's going to make you at least pay attention to what he's doing. And if you're not paying attention to what he's doing, he's going to get that offensive rebound. Amongst guards, Westbrook is 10th in offensive rebounding with 1.5 a game. I got that from NBA.com. A lot of the players ahead of him are actually forwards, not really guards. But really, that's just more credit to him because he's a smaller guy that's getting in on the offensive rebounds. And to me personally, I appreciate that a lot. Another thing that's been huge for the Nuggets has been Westbrook's finishing ability. Throughout this season so far, Westbrook is shooting 60% on layups compared to the last two seasons before where he was shooting 52%. 52% and 60% are both very efficient, but 60% is a lot better than 52%. And a lot of that has come from Jokic just giving him easy looks on the inside from their two-man game. And the last thing I want to talk about is how valuable it's been for the Nuggets whenever Jokic or Jamal Murray is not healthy. Example, the Warriors game. Aaron Gordon and Russell Westbrook were just out there tearing it up. Aaron Gordon had like 30-some. Westbrook had a triple-double. And if Westbrook is not on that team, and if he does not play that game, they don't beat the Warriors in that game. The Warriors take that game easily. They were not supposed to win that game, but Westbrook and Aaron Gordon just went crazy. So just having another guy that can really take over when you need him to, whenever Jokic or Jamal Murray isn't on the floor or isn't healthy in general, it's been very big for the Nuggets. Obviously, him and Aaron Gordon aren't going to be able to get it done all the time. Like last night against the Warriors, they weren't able to win that game. I wasn't expecting them to win that game. They weren't supposed to win that game, but it was the same thing with the Warriors. They came in there, they shocked the world, they won a game they shouldn't have. And if Westbrook isn't on the team, they don't win that game. We're talking about a former MVP. Westbrook is much more than just a passer and a cutter. We're talking about a former MVP. And one of the biggest parts about all of this for the Nuggets of why this was such a great pickup in the offseason is they got him on a minimum contract. He's on like a $4 million deal. You didn't barely have to invest anything for this experiment, and it has gone so well. Huge shout out to the Nuggets front office and Jokic or whoever influenced them signing Russell Westbrook. Whoever did, they did a great job. The scouting department did a great job realizing that these two could play very well together. Now we have talked about a lot of good things, so let's talk about some bad things. His turnover percentage is the second worst of his career. He's averaging 3 turnovers a game. That's not bad. He doesn't have the ball in his hands that much, so 3 turnovers isn't great, but I mean, he's Westbrook, so he's going to turn the ball over. And another thing for the Nuggets is the defense sucks. The Nuggets have the 7th worst defensive rating since the All-Star break. Westbrook definitely isn't helping, but it's definitely not his fault. Also, the Nuggets are 8th worst in points per possession. That just shows you how bad the Nuggets defense has been throughout the season. But the thing about Westbrook is his one-on-one defense isn't bad. It's the off-ball and the transition defense that's not great. When Westbrook has a matchup like the DC game, he was matched up against Chris Middleton. He was very engaged. He was really trying to lock Chris up. He did good job on some possessions, but you know, Chris Middleton is Chris Middleton, so he's going to get his buckets. He's going to get his own. And another thing with Westbrook is depending on their playoff matchup is how effective he's going to be throughout the playoffs. In a Thunder series and a Warrior series, he's going to be very effective. But in a Timberwolves series, they showed you just the other night that he would not be able to be as effective. They shut down the playmaking from Westbrook. And the Timberwolves have an elite defense, so they were able to clog up all the passing lanes. I mean, the Timberwolves were just on everything. So if they were to match up against the Timberwolves in the playoffs, I would be worried about Westbrook being on the floor and being able to be as effective as he could be. But in a Thunder series and a Warrior series, he's going to be very effective. Come playoff time, in my opinion, I think it would be better to have him come off the bench. Obviously, I think Aaron Gordon should be in his spot if he is starting, but if anyone else is out, Westbrook can take that starting role. But come playoff time, I think they should take his minutes down just a little bit and make it so that whenever he is in the game, he has the ball in his hands more often instead of him sitting in the corner. When you're in a playoff series and Westbrook, regardless of him shooting 45% from the corner, teams are going to allow him to shoot that shot and they're going to live with it. So it would be good for the Nuggets to take down some of the possessions of Westbrook sitting in the corner and turn those into him being the ball handler, him having the ball in his hands. And I just think that would be more effective for the Nuggets in the playoffs. That's what happens whenever he were to play like 40 minutes. If he plays like 40 minutes, he's going to be sitting in the corner for a good amount of time. Like I said, just as much as you can take that down when it comes to the playoffs, the better it's going to be. Because like I said, teams are going to let him shoot that shot and they're going to live with Westbrook hitting 4 threes. That's all I have to talk about for Russell Westbrook today. I want to give a huge shout out to the person that gave me the idea for this video, Rock Mitch. I'm sorry if I said your username wrong. I'm just calling you Mitch for now on. But this video was his idea, so I appreciate you very much, brother. So let's get into the comment of the day. Today's comment of the day is going to be from Star Chaser. If you want to be the next comment of the day, all you have to do is comment anything down below. It can be a question, a topic, a statement, literally anything. It doesn't even have to be about basketball or sports, whatever you want. And my favorite comment from the previous video, I talk about it as the last segment of the video. So today's comment of the day is going to be, who is your favorite current player and retired and why? My favorite player of all time, retired or current, is Chris Middleton. To a lot of people that's going to sound crazy, but I got a signed ball up there. He is really the reason why I fell in love with basketball. Like when I was younger, watching Chris Middleton just cook you without more than one dribble, like how Chris gets to work, like jab step, pump fake, jab step, side step, pull up. Like, just that kind of stuff that's simple, instead of dribble, 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 break you down. Like, that's fun, but just Chris being able to cook somebody without barely dribbling was just something beautiful that I love to watch. We're talking about one hell of a scorer. I mean, Chris, 3-level scorer, he can get buckets on anybody. Great passer. I mean, I could go on and on about Chris, but Chris is my favorite player because just whenever I got into basketball, being a Bucks fan, like, I picked the Bucks to be my team before I even started watching basketball. So whenever I started looking at our players and who was on my new favorite team, Chris really stood out to me. A lot of people would think that it would be Giannis, but just for me, Chris was my favorite player to watch. And then it was just great seeing him play so well through our championship runs and our playoff games whenever he was healthy. Like, he was just so big for the Bucks. If he doesn't get his jersey retired, I'm going to be very upset. He was a super nice guy. I went to his camp in Charleston. Like I said, very, very nice guy. We got a picture together. He signed my ball, and yeah, it was just a great experience. So to answer your question, Chris Middleton is my favorite current and all-time player. All-time, I can't really think of anything. I thought about it for a little while, but I mean, I haven't been watching basketball for that long. You got to think about it. I'm 19 years old. I didn't start watching basketball until like the 6th grade because I didn't grow up around it. So I haven't been watching basketball but for so long, so I haven't seen that much. But Chris Middleton has been my favorite player. And before we wrap this up, I want to say thank you to all the people that were showing me love on the last video. It does really mean a lot to me. I appreciate you very much for staying to the end of the video, and I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Peace out.